The nation's public pension system is a complete disaster. According to my next guest, we don't even know exactly how much we have, how much we owe, but it is clear that it's underfunded. Devin Nunes, congressperson from California. Sir, thank you for joining us. Love everything you're doing, sir. Talk to us about what we should be doing. California, your state may have $500 billion of unfunded liabilities. What are you guys going to do?
Well, I don't know what Governor Moonbeam is going to do, and that's hard to predict. We know what he did in the 1970s. We're not sure what's going to happen in the 2010s. But what we can be sure of is that California is broke, on the verge of bankruptcy. And California is not alone. You're seeing several states, Illinois, New Jersey, New York, around the country. And it's not just their budgets. It's also their public employee pensions.
So what do we do? We know there's a problem out there, sir, but what's the answer? Is it breaking all the public pension unions and all the contracts?
Well, we don't know what the answer is until we know what the problem is. And so just as you mentioned, maybe California has $500 billion, maybe it has $1 trillion. Even the public employees across the country admit that there's close to $1 trillion in unfunded liabilities. My guess is that that's probably on the low side. Professor Rao did a long study on this, said that there's $3 trillion. Some folks say there's as much as $5 trillion.
Sir, all due respect, and again, we're the corruption show, and we appreciate you. We want you part of the show, but what are you going to do about it? We know there's a massive problem out there. What's the solution?
Right. So what we did in the last Congress, the end of the last Congress, I introduced a bill that basically says that, number one, don't come to the federal government, states and local localities, for a pension bailout. That's number one. We have to establish that now, that we are not going to be in the bailout business any longer, and I believe John Boehner believes that and has said so much today. Secondly, what we're trying to do here with this bill that I've introduced is to shine some sunlight on the problem. So when we look at the 2,500 public employee pensions across the country, we want to know what their assets and liabilities are. And so what we're doing is we set up a web page at the Department of Treasury for these pension plans to just show us their numbers, show us the books, so that folks at all level of government, whether it's the federal, state, or localities, and even the public employees themselves, have access to what is the true number of their assets and liabilities.
Okay, so we'll find out. We'll find out what the balance sheet looks like. I get it. We'll also know that there's a big problem. But is it? Are you recommending you break these union contracts? Because ultimately, at the end of the day, that's the only way you're going to solve the problem.
Yeah, look, I've never been one for having more government employees, and I despise the fact that public employees can participate through their union in the political process. As you know, the SEIU is the largest public employee union organization in the country. They basically funnel all of their money to Democrats. And we end up in this death spiral where you have politicians getting elected, getting money from the public employees, then voting for the public employees to have raises. And what's happened here is that I think we're at the end game. And what we're trying to do with this bill is shine sunlight so we know what that end game looks like.
Congressman, we very much agree with you and appreciate your time. And hopefully we have you back on very soon to let us know what's going on. By the way, Congressman Nunes, author of Restoring the Republic, a clear, concise, and colorful blueprint for America's future. All right, let's bring it out to the panel. I want to mention that Senator Al D'Amato has joined us. Senator, you're sitting there, you're listening.